Came back out to follow up today, and this is how I find the freezer.
This video is brought to you by Sporlan. Quality, integrity, and tradition.
Customer called, said the walk-in freezer's not working. You guys are not gonna believe what I found. So, can you guys see anything wrong with the walk-in freezer condenser? Anything jumping out at you? Let me get a closer look. Look at that. Tweakers got in here and stole the copper lines. And you could tell they didn't even have cutting tools. They just broke it off. They took the caps off too. They're that hard up, they took the brass caps off. But they must have got caught in the middle of the job, and here's why I say so, because if you come over here to the walk-in cooler, look at this. They were in the midst of breaking this one too when they got caught. So they stole the brass caps off these and were breaking the lines. So the walk-in cooler's still working at this time, but we're gonna have to fix the freezer tonight. Looks like we're gonna have enough room. They didn't get the liquid line yet, so we'll get in there, change that dryer, and I think I can unsweat this right here and hope that there's no damage to the compressor. Hope the low pressure control shut it off. Let's see, was he a smart tweaker? Yeah, he turned it off. He turned it off for him. That's off. I guess he was a smart tweaker. Although, I don't know that it would have really done anything. Maybe he was a polite tweaker and turned it off. All right, got the equipment opened up. It looks like it's gonna be okay. Sanded it right here. Pulled this apart. It's not gonna be that big of a deal, to be honest with you. This right here, they just broke it up here. Again, there's gonna be some work I'm gonna do, but I might have to pull it up to that insulation to see if that's kinked right there, because that is a bend. I did do this equipment. I installed it on 3/4 of 20. So it's just about a year old. That sucks, man, but hey, because the customer sent me all the pictures and everything, I knew. I stopped by the shop and picked up some scrap 7/8, and picked up the refrigerant that I needed for this because I didn't have enough. This thing takes 14 pounds for the total charge, so. But yeah, shouldn't be too big of a deal. So we're gonna get nitrogen hooked up, start unsweating, and go from there. I was able to get that piece out, no problem. Came out nice and clean. We'll sand it up a little bit more, and we'll go ahead and do some bends on that copper. It's not gonna look perfect right now. I'll have to come back with clamps and everything, but at least we'll get it back up and running. I'll start sanding up there too. Up here, we got up on a ladder, and this is actually deformed, kind of like I thought it was gonna be too from them, because they were pushing and pulling on it. It's like all tweaked. So we'll cut it right here, and we'll just make one piece with a bend going all the way down. Bend there, do all that stuff, so shouldn't be too big of a deal. Sucks, I was rolling out my copper and I thought I was gonna be perfect, and this is what happens when you grab scrap copper. There was a kink in the middle. So I think it might be enough. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it and see. If not, I brought some more, but I don't know if it was any longer than this. All right, we got some Viper wet rag on there protecting the Sporlan catch-all and Sporlan seal. So we're gonna get it sweat in real quick. We got the line set kind of done. You know, for the most part, we'll try to straighten stuff out. It's definitely not gonna be perfect, and I don't have a service valve with me, so we had to do what we had to do here, so. All right, so we're doing a pressure test right now. And right off the bat, they cracked the line right here too. Big fat leak. So we're gonna have to fix that. It almost feels like it's coming from two places, to be honest with you. Okay, we got the dryer and sight glass all installed. You can definitely see how the wet rag protects it, you know, takes it nice and good. We're cool. I wanted to do a flare, but there wasn't enough room here. I fixed this fitting, right? And it's really cool. You know, this kind of goes to show you, save little fittings. This is all one piece from here to here. I saved it from a compressor job. It's like a whole bushing thing. So I was able to use that, but when I went to go braze that in, I had pulled the other piece out. I had to unsweat it. I hit the side of my hand right there, and that white is all a burn. God damn it, and right there too. Shit's hurting right now. I just went right down on there, and I wasn't thinking, and put all my pressure on it. It burnt the crap out of my hand. So you can see that white stuff. It looks like it's just like chalk or dirt. Yeah, no, that's my skin. All right, well, we're gonna do a pressure test again. Let's go ahead and turn this guy on. Oh, we gotta put my other gauge port on here real quick. And then set this guy up for pressure test and see what happens. All right, we are currently, turn that off, doing a pressure test, and that's about good. A little bit higher than design pressures, probably shouldn't have gone that high. The backlight is doing pretty good at nighttime. That's pretty good, I'd say. I mean, you can see it fairly well. We're gonna go ahead and let the system see if it stabilizes out or if we continue to leak. It's definitely dropping right now. So it was acting like it had another leak. I pressure tested it where it went up, but it's actually not changing. It's 0.1 psi. So that's not bad. And the temperature's dropping outside. It's getting cold. But I went ahead and soap bubbled everything. I don't have a cap for this. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if this is leaking because we don't have the cap. But I soap bubbled all this stuff, nothing. Everything looks good. So we're gonna go ahead and vacuum it down and charge it up, and then we'll run the electronic. Again, I just need to get through the night, really. And so we're doing a true vacuum, pulling through the liquid line right there and pulling all the way up to this valve right here that's ball valved off. And we're just kind of slowly starting to pick up some of our stuff right now. Certainly a butcher job on the installation, but I'm losing patience tonight. We're definitely going to be coming back to fix a lot of things and clamp a lot of things and stuff. So evacuation's doing pretty good. We're at about 587 microns. We are in decay now, but we're slowly rising. Based off of the graph that I saw a few minutes ago, it's more moisture than an actual leak in the system. So this honestly is all that we're going to get tonight. We're not going to get it any better. I'm not going to wait all night. We need to get this system up and running. So I kind of anticipate we're going to have to come back out and change dryers. So we'll probably come back out, change dryers again, and see how the system's operating. But it's kind of how it is. So we're running about 847 microns. It's slowing down, but it is slowly rising. And like I said, based off of the graph, it kind of looks like a moisture thing. But it's doing pretty good, 855, 856, so it's slowly rising. But yeah, we're gonna call this one done. We're not done, but we're gonna charge it up now. Now, luckily, when I started this system up, I labeled it 14 pounds of R448A, so we're gonna be good on that. Putting gas in it right now. We got 2 pounds in. We're just dumping it into the receiver. Got it front seated, so it's not going anywhere past that. Can you go ahead and turn off that disconnect switch?
Yep.
And then if you don't mind, connect that contactor back. All right, I got about 7 pounds in there. I shut it off. See what happens. See if it actually starts up. Slowly rising, getting ready to turn on. Should be on by now. What the heck? 41 psi. What the heck's the low pressure control kick in at? Oh, this one has a delay. Maybe it's the delay. Shouldn't be the delay. Yeah, I think it is the delay. We'll have to wait and see. Grr, it's one thing after another. Good grief. I'm wondering why this thing's not working. And come over here to the pressure control. And the pressure control's open. And then I realize, hey, there's no capillary tube coming out of the pressure control because they broke it off on the suction line. Good gosh. So we're gonna have to put a service tee right here. The service tee, what I do is take a little bit of nylog, put it right here, just where the surface hits, right there, and then spin the flare nut on there like that. Cool. And then just put a little bit of nylog right here. Okay, more than enough, doesn't take much. And then now we need to install that guy on this port first because it doesn't have a Schrader. And then this has a Schrader depressor in it. It'll push down on that. We'll do it all at once. It'll be kind of like a hot swap. All right, there we go. Now, we still got to charge, but it's running now. You can see how we had to do that. We're gonna go ahead and add gas. We're gonna add to the 14 pounds. You can't just go to a clear sight glass because we have a head pressure control valve there. So we got to make sure we get the right amount of charge in here. All right, we are just about to 14 pounds. So far, everything's running okay. we're gonna literally start wrapping this stuff up and go check on the walk-in box, make sure it's coming down in temp. Okay, my box temp is about 33 degrees right now. I'm not too concerned about my evaporator temperature. It's fine, the box is really pulling down. I'm not going to analyze too much. We have a clear sight glass. My head pressure control valve is bypassing at the moment, or at least it's opening and closing. What's the bypass pressure on this guy? Let's see if I can get in here. Yeah, it's 150 psi valve. So a second ago it was bypassing. Looks like it's not anymore, or maybe it's just starting to shut. But really, we're looking for a clear sight glass, and it's going to take some time. So we are going to have to come back and follow up on this system, make sure everything's working properly, and we're going to be doing a lot more work. So I don't even have my clamps on here for superheat and subcooling right now because it's not going to mean anything till the box is almost down to temp. All right, we're up and running. We're going to go double check on the box. Again, we'll straighten everything up and clamp it and everything later. It's good for now. All right, their thermometer says 20 degrees on the wall. It's going to be a while before it brings all this food down to temperature, but all the fans are running. Coil's got a little frost on it. We're looking good. But yeah, their stuff is pretty, like, this is still kind of frozen. So I'd say at the max it got to about 35 degrees in here. So I'm out here having to clean out the van because last night I just threw everything back in it and didn't really bother organizing much because it was late. I think I got out of there about midnight, so it wasn't too bad, but so it shouldn't take me too long. I just got to kind of move some stuff around, put some things back where they belong. Came back out to follow up today, and this is how I find the freezer. Door propped open, those things. This drives me nuts. It's people. It's crazy. All right, well, we're gonna close this, throw it through a defrost, and then put our gauges on it and check the system out. I just wanna make sure everything's working properly. All right, well, for it being nighttime, it doesn't look that bad. It's not gonna be that hard to straighten out either. I'm still gonna come back with clamps. I don't have those today. It's still a Saturday, but I just wanted to follow up, make sure the temps were good because I hadn't heard from the managers and they weren't answering the phone. So we're gonna go ahead and take the covers off, just look at everything, make sure we don't see anything else funky. Came out here and just threw it into a really long defrost, waiting for it to pump down right now. And I'm gonna go grab my probes and everything. But yeah, surprised, everything looks pretty good for being in the middle of the night. So oil level's good. See it moving around in there. Well, I let the unit take its sweet time, just maxed out the defrost, disconnected the defrost termination. It's all defrosted the coil now, so we're gonna flip it back on, let it come down in temp. All right, I didn't plan on being here this long. I've been here for about an hour and a half. I planned on just being here for a few minutes, assuming there was nothing wrong with the refrigeration lines we did. I still have to come back because we're still gonna support everything. I did put my probes on here. We are running 16 degrees evaporator superheat, but it is coming down, and the valve is maintaining, it's not hunting or anything, but the box temp is high because I had to run that defrost for an hour. So I'm not gonna wait for this thing to come down to temp. We're just gonna go ahead and follow up next week when we come back to do the permanent repairs.
Wow. Bunch of tweakers, right? The crazy thing is they've hit this restaurant, I can probably count 4 to 5 times in the last, I'd say 2 years, 3 years. All different various things. One time they have a caged in section of their back dock, and they cut the cage open and stole a reach-in refrigerator out of the caged in section that was waiting to be installed. Like a giant 48-inch long, you know, $8,000-$9,000 refrigerator. They just wheeled the damn thing out. Like, the tweakers see no end in this place. They've jumped on the roof. Hey, and there's another thing too. I actually told the customer, I have a feeling they got on the roof too, but I told them that I wasn't even going to go up there last night because this is Saturday 2/27. I did the repair on Friday 2/26. So yeah, I have a feeling they got on the roof too. So I told them when I was there Friday night, I was like, I'm not even going to go up there. And I went back this morning after I was cleaning my van out, and I still didn't go up there. I told them when I come back next week to put all the clamps on and stuff, I'll jump on the roof, and I bet you anything we're going to find all the drain lines missing and stuff. So who knows? It's crazy. But hey, you know, this weird stuff happens, and it doesn't surprise me. Yeah, I get frustrated. I was about to go live on the HVAC overtime show and I stayed for a few minutes and then I had to bounce. But, I just try to take, the way that I look at it is look, they can call someone else. Someone else will gladly fix this. Someone else will gladly hand them that bill for the overtime repair. So I can either take the call, be a little bit frustrated, but be thankful that I have work, or we can just let it go and let someone else handle it. I choose to take the call. So yeah, it sucked. And yeah, I was frustrated. It's funny because one of my technicians, I'm on call, but one of my technicians happened to message me while I was at the restaurant. He said, hey, I just want to let you know I'd be willing to take your on call this weekend. And so I messaged him back and I said, do you want to come help me right now? So like he came down and helped me out. So that was cool having someone else there. I didn't necessarily need someone there, but it was nice having another person there to help me lift things and move things and, do little stuff here and there. So, but again, you can't be overwhelmed by this stuff. You have to just take it one step at a time. Okay. The customer messaged us, sent us pictures. So I thought ahead and I said, you know what? I know what size line size that is, and I know what refrigerant that is. And I picked some up from my shop on the way out to the customer's site. So I was prepared for that. I had my tubing benders. I kind of already had a plan as to what I had to do. But, things unfolded. After I fixed the refrigeration lines, we found a leak on the liquid line. Okay, we moved past that step. Then we found that the pressure control was broken. Okay, you move, so it's just like one thing at a time and just work your way through it. And yes, it can be frustrating. It's a bummer, especially when I come back the next day and I walk in just to check on the box and the damn door's propped open with boxes. And it'd been like that for like 4 or 5 hours. Like, come on, guys. So, what I thought was just going to be a real quick follow-up on a Saturday ended up being 2 hours because I sat there and had to babysit the dang defrost clock while it was running through defrost. It wasn't iced up enough for me to grab my hoses and stuff, so I just let the defrost handle it, went next door, got a hamburger, waited for that, and then just did the thing. But again, and also you have to understand when it comes to refrigeration, it's not always going to be perfect. Of course, we have to strive for excellence. And of course, we want to do our best. But in the middle of the night, I don't do supermarket work, but the supermarket guys, they know what it's like. Okay. In the middle of the night, they're not going to get a perfect vacuum. Okay. They're not going to get a perfect repair because that system has been open to atmosphere for how long? I don't know. The only way to get a perfect vacuum on that system would be to take the compressor out, change the oil, do a proper evacuation, put a suction dryer, liquid dryer, and go from there. And I didn't have all that stuff to do it at nighttime. I mean, I didn't even have the means, without opening supply houses and stuff. And I wasn't about to do that. So is there going to be repercussions because I did not pull a perfect vacuum? Yes, there is. Okay. More than likely, we're going to have copper plating issues. We might have a plugged up dryer, and that's something that the customer has to accept. We can't, we can't make everything perfect. Okay. So I'm going back, right? I just went back today just to follow up, but I am going to go back and I'm going to go ahead and change the dryer again. I might even add a suction dryer. Because, hey, it'd probably be a good idea. I'll bring to the customer's attention that, hey, we should probably do an oil change. I don't know if they're going to go that far. We still have to do the repair on the walk-in cooler, too, where the suction line, I have to put a new valve on that one and replace all the clamps and everything and then jump up onto the roof. So I still plan on going back, putting the hangers, securing the pipe, and then going ahead and changing the dryer, the liquid dryer, probably adding a suction dryer. But, you just can't. You can't always be perfect, and you can't let this stuff get to you. Overtime calls, they're frustrating, especially I had just had a beer. Luckily, I didn't have 3, but I just sat down, had a beer, was relaxed, logging on with my buddies, and then the call came in. And it's like, ugh, But, hey, I can let someone else do it, another company, or I can hand them the bill. Look at it like that. That's the way that I look at it, okay? So we know the repercussions. We're going to have some moisture issues. Who knows, some things going on in there. I'd love to change the oil in the compressor if the customer would allow me. We'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. Hey, I really, really appreciate you guys making it to the end of this video. Thank you so very much. If you haven't already, guys, please, if you're interested, check out my website, hvacrvideos.com. Hats, beanies, sweaters, shirts, all that stuff available on there. It helps to support the channel. Also, If you guys are considering any tool purchases, check out truetech.tools.com and use my offer code BIGPICTURE, one word. You can save 8% on your order, and I get a small commission from that. So that helps me. It doesn't cost you anything extra. They got a lot of great stuff on there. I buy a lot of my tools. In fact, the Christmas video where I gave away all those tools and stuff, all that stuff came from True Tech Tools. So, you know, they have tons of stuff available on their website. So check it out if you guys haven't already checked it out. If you're an HVAC guy, I guarantee you're going to like what they have on there, okay? Great stuff. So remember that work permitting, I go live Monday evenings on my YouTube channel to do a Q&A live stream, okay? What is it, 5 p.m. Pacific on the West Coast, or 5 p.m. Pacific, yeah, work permitting. And then also Friday evenings, I go live on the HVAC Overtime channel, work permitting. I guess I got to start saying that for them too. 6:05 p.m. Eastern, or 6:05 p.m. Pacific. And then, yeah, it's just me and my buddies hanging out, talking, and, you know, we have cool guests. So I didn't get to be on the last one on the overtime because I had this call, but we had John Pastorello from Refrigeration Technologies. He's a really nice guy. I've met John a few times, so it was a cool interview. If you guys haven't seen it, go check out the overtime channel. You'll see the video on there. So there's links for all that stuff in the show notes of this one. So again, I really, really appreciate you guys, and we will catch you on the next one, okay?